Now, what can happen in a cut is most people tend to, start ramping up the volume, start doing crazy cardio and everything, and they like to burn muscle. Mistakes that I have made many times in the past. So what you guys want to do to maintain the muscle mass is
None of y'all stopping me, don't need the axe. Chopping trees, planting seeds, plotting schemes, crossing lines, dotting T's. Lines are blurred, I cannot see. Before I die, I'm top 3. Before I die, I'm top 3.
He's telling me how many reps I gotta do. Okay. Okay. What is going on, YouTube? You're back with the Prez. We're in Juniper Park today. It is another pull workout. Now, as you guys know, as of late, I've been taking a step back from the intensity training, meaning the heavy loads, and I've been focusing more on volume, more hypertrophy work, trying to build muscle and heal my shoulder joint and my body in general, right? Now, over the past 2-3 weeks, I've been focusing a lot on ring work. You guys have seen my sessions. On my push days, I'm including the rings. On my pull days, I'm including the rings. And even at home, when I'm not training, I have a pair of rings set up in my home gym, and I'm constantly doing skin to cats, practicing shoulder mobility, and I feel like over the last couple of days my shoulder's actually been feeling a lot better. So like I said, today's gonna be a pull day, but we're gonna take a step back and we're actually gonna go back to some intensity work. Just because, remember, now that I'm in a cut and I put on about almost 15 pounds since last summer, right? Last September I was running around 160, 161. I peaked on my competition day at 175 pounds, so that's about 15 pounds in weight gained, right? So most of it is muscle because I didn't put on that much body fat. As you guys can see, I stayed relatively lean. I got a little thick, and just recently, I've been in a little bit of a deficit going in a cut. Now, what can happen in a cut is most people tend to, start ramping up the volume, start doing crazy cardio and everything, and they like to burn muscle. Mistakes that I have made many times in the past. So what you guys want to do to maintain the muscle mass is you want to give it a stimulus to stay on your body. So training with the hypertrophy, the 65 to 60% rep ranges, that's sufficient intensity, especially with the volume, to maintain the muscle mass. But it also to maintain some central nervous system stimulus to the heavy loads, I want to go back to some weighted sets today. And remember, when I was training for strength for my competition, I was training heavy weighted pulls and heavy weighted dips in the same workout. That's what was really frying the body. It was too much intensity in one session with opposing muscle groups, right? My arms were taking a toll, my shoulder was taking a toll. So now, for the pull work, today is literally just gonna be weighted pull-ups. We're gonna be doing old school strength training, 10 sets of 3 reps. I got 90 pounds of me, I have 2 45-pound plates, and we're gonna go 10 sets of 3, which is gonna accumulate still a sufficient amount of volume, 30 reps. Remember, hypertrophy, typically you're doing 3 sets or 4 sets of a number, and you're falling within that 25 to 35 rep range. So here's a way that you can increase the intensity. 90 pounds is gonna be about 83% of my 1 rep max, which is probably around 110, which is a 5-pound drop off from competition. So 83% of 1 rep max right now, 90 pounds, 10 sets of 3, long breaks. Let's get a few warm-up sets going. All right, getting into one more warm-up set. We're just gonna do 45 pounds, like always, for a nice 5 reps. Now remember, one other thing about 10 sets of training, right? I've said this many times in the past when it comes to skill work. When you hit 10 sets, that's high volume of a specific movement. That's a lot of central nervous system learning. That's what you wanna do. Remember, strength is a central nervous system adaptation. It's teaching the body to fire and recruit the muscle fibers as fast and as quickly and with as much force as possible. It's different than training for hypertrophy when you really want to work on that mind-muscle connection, feel the muscles stretch and contract each repetition. You're not really focusing on motor unit control in that aspect, right? Besides actually controlling the repetitions. When it comes to strength and skills, you got to teach the nervous system where to fire, where to be in space. Handstands. If you only practice 3 or 4 sets of handstands in a given workout and you're a beginner, you ain't gonna get very far, right? Because it's gotta be very specific, it's gotta be long. The session's gotta be an hour specific of handstands. 10 sets minimum of just holds, right? Same thing we're gonna do now with this 90-pound, 10 sets of 3. We're gonna teach the nervous system to be more efficient with 90 pounds by literally loading it up 10 separate times in one training session. It's really going to teach the nervous system how to fire up. And yes, the sets will get harder as we get towards the later end of the sets. The reps might slow down. They may, I hope we don't have a drop off in reps. I hope I hit all 10 sets at 3. But again, that teaches the nervous system how to get more accustomed to the 90 pounds. So the next time I go to touch that weight, my body's going to be better and more efficient at moving it. So let's get into one more warm-up set. So I'm just going to mention this now when you could see how I'm actually fresh, right? This is set 1. This is the first time I've touched 90 pounds in probably 3 weeks. Remember, like I've always said, strength is a skill. You're going to see I'm not moving as fast as I used to move with the 90 pounds. That's because, again, strength is a skill, and if you're not training that force production or that motor unit recruitment often, you're going to lose that skill response, right? And what I've been doing lately is been training more hypertrophy, slower reps. So my body was starting to get more used to now slower, more controlled repetitions. So there's this scientific term called the SAID principle, specific adaptations of imposed demands. What that means is the body's going to start adapting to the imposed demands. The imposed demands meaning what it's going through the most during the workout session. So when I was training specifically for strength, my body got very good and very powerful and explosive at pulling heavy weight fast. Now that I took a break from that and started doing more controlled repetitions, my body started to get more adapted to the slow and controlled reps. So again, that's making the harder and the more forceful reps that I'm doing today less productive than they were or less efficient than they were a couple weeks ago. But that's why we're throwing this routine in, to keep that stimulus towards the nervous system, constant, and let my body keep getting stronger with the 90 pounds. And like I said, I told you, as the sets go on, the intensity and the speed of the reps, not the intensity, the speed, meaning how fast they're coming, how fast I'm producing force, is going to slow down. But remember, the heavier the loads, no matter what, I'm still trying to move the weight as fast as possible. The fact that it's slowing down just shows that the recruitment and the force production is lower. I'm still recruiting maximal type 2 fibers. They're just fatiguing a little bit and not firing up as fast and as explosively as they were initially. But that's how you train. Remember, this is how you train the nervous system to become more in tune or more efficient at this load specifically.
Look, I'm still waiting on moments that never came. Blind faith in people who never change. My heart breaks and every day I go insane, just trying to relive memories that never turn out the same. It's time to move on, but I'm stuck in my ways. I gotta prove wrong anyone who had something to say. When I was down and out, new route, I found a new way. Through all the doubts, finding out who's real and who's fake. It's more than having goals and cashing checks. It's less about what hasn't happened yet, but what's about to happen next. That's perspective, I guess. Many lessons, regrets. Let the hate overshadow any love that I get, cause I'm addicted to the pain. Comfortable, feeling uncomfortable. Cause I push away, it doesn't mean I lost my love for you. Time ticks away and every day I have too much to do. No matter how much, it seems like it's never enough for you. I'm working, but it's hurting, and this level of uncertainty has got me feeling nervous. Wasting time writing verses, at first for myself, but I can't help to see where I stack up with everyone else. And it's a vicious circle. Fans will love you, but this business hurts you. Or business love you, and the fans waiting to see who hurt you. And I'd rather fail being myself than fall apart trying to play the part of somebody else. That's why I'm focusing as much as I can. It's like he's gone and then he's back and then he does it again. Knowing all good runs, they must come to an end. It's like the boy who cried wolf, this time it wasn't pretend. It's nearly over for you. And I try to warn you, told them a storm is coming, and you ignored us. Your views are all distorted according to your recordings. You think that you're more important than the shit that you reporting. Bitch, you got a job to do, but you a politician.
Remember this, guys. When training with a specific intensity or a specific load, and your goal is to get stronger at that weight or that intensity. For instance, today I did a 10 by 3, 10 sets of 3 pull-ups with 40 kilograms. Now let's say by set 6 I started to fail, or I couldn't hit 3 reps each set, and I decided let's drop down to 50 pounds and finish the remaining sets of 3. The second I lose the 40 kilogram weight, I lose the stimulus that my body's looking for, right? Because if I get too fatigued off the given stimulus, the second I lower the weight, that lower intensity inevitably is going to feel heavier. So you're now giving a false signal or a false stimulus with a lower weight. It's more advantageous to finish the required number of reps, even if you have to cut down how many reps you give per set. So hit the same amount of reps that you want, just do it in longer increments if you need to, right? Instead of 10 by 3, finish the remaining sets by 1 if you need to, but keep the same load constant throughout the training session. That's how you adapt to the stimulus. And to finish off the pull workout, remember, like I said, you want to train the back fully, you got to train vertical and horizontal movements. We just do, or I'm just doing, 1 set of max repetition ring rows, and I'm wearing the 15-pound vest. You're going to see now it's more hypertrophy style. You can see I'm really going to slow down the reps, really squeeze at the top part of each repetition, really feel those muscles contract and eccentrically load. This is more hypertrophy focused, and again, just 1 set here to failure, just because, again, remember, we did a lot of intensity and volume previously. You can't do too much volume and intensity in one workout. That's how you're going to overtrain. So just 1 set of inverted rows here on the rings for optimal arm movement and optimal shoulder health. And I think I catch like 17 or 18 repetitions. The last 2 partial reps literally going to full muscular failure. And right after the rows, now that I've been more on this pull push routine, I've been trying to do a lot more isolation work as well. So I've been throwing in on my pull days some bicep isolation, and on my push days some tricep isolation. So you're going to see here we're going to be just doing 1 set again with the vest on, 15 pounds, body weight ring curls. This is one of my favorite bicep exercises. They're going to really help strengthen the tendons and load the biceps very effectively, right? Because you could just keep altering the angle of your body to make it harder, and you could just add a vest on to make it harder. Very easy movement to progressive overload. So again, just 1 set max reps. I think I couch like 10 to 12 here. And that's a wrap for the workout routine, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Try this pull workout out. See you in the next one.
Sad story, I ain't here for a symphony, no sympathy. When I was on the bench, you wouldn't sit with me. Now I'm on the court and I'm balling, my time's coming.